I'm sorry, but there's just no way that Joe Biden's actually running the country now. I find it very hard to believe. Now, I joked about this first year, 2 years into his presidency, actually equating it to it was my Lady Eloise principle from the movie Boomerang, where he's just the name on the package. But he screwed up the same BS story twice in the same week, in the same way, except using different dead leaders. It's really, you think, you get people out there, they're making fun of this on programs, and I guess in some way I'm kind of making fun of this too, but not really. This is just sad. It really is. It's sad. And again, you don't think that our adversaries are watching this? I don't know. Maybe, maybe we should, put out to our adversaries that, hey, listen, Obama's pulling the strings, behind the curtain. Somebody else is, okay? Somebody is pulling the strings here because he obviously can't do this. Again, he goes back. He always talks about this trip that he made to Europe. After, again, it was one of his first trips that was there. And he always talks the story about America's back. America's back. Just a few days ago, he's telling the story, and he was confusing Macron with Francois Mitterrand. And he actually said, I was talking to Mitterrand there. Yeah, Mitterrand died in 1996. He was a fundraiser yesterday here in New York. Same anecdote, talking about the 2021 G7 summit. And this is Biden. I showed up and I sat down and said, America's back. And French President Emmanuel Macron looked at me and said, for how long? How long? Not a joke, Biden recalled. Anyway, Helmut Kohl said, Joe, what would you think if you picked up the phone and picked up the paper tomorrow and learned the London Times on the front page that 1,000 people stormed the parliament, broke down the doors of the House of Commons and killed 2 bobbies in the process, trying to stop the election of a prime minister, he added. Helmut Kohl? Helmut Kohl was chancellor in Germany during the Reagan years. If I'm not, it's during the Reagan, and then even after the fact, I think he was also in charge for a little bit longer. He actually died in 2017. Again, you had 50 guests, well-heeled guests at this fundraiser. And where are the reporters on this asking these people that show up at these fundraisers, what do you think about the gaffes? They must be on to something that obviously we're not politicizing. Someone else has to be running the show at this point in time. It has to be. Again, I mentioned, I think yesterday on the podcast, commercial popped up in one of my YouTube feeds of a campaign commercial with basically Obama doing all of the talking for Joe Biden and how we need to make sure we elect Joe Biden and keep him up there in his leadership. I'm sorry. Would anybody, let's throw this out there, not conspiracy theory. I'm saying it's could be true, might not be true. I'm throwing that's conspiracy. I don't know this to be a fact. My question is, would you be surprised? Would you be the slightest bit shocked to know that Barack Obama was actually pulling the strings at this point in time? I think the answer, whether you're on the left or the right, I think your answer would be no. How could you be surprised? WatchDog on WallStreet.com.